Okay, CDL fans, we've had a kind of a slow few weeks recently with roster mania being at an all-time high. The top rosters kind of making their moves, and then the rest of the teams kind of fizzling out a little bit. But today, or I say today, it's actually yesterday, we had a bit of a news here. It's Kremp joining Estreal at Minnesota Rocker. Let's kind of read the report and just give my summary on the team. So, Minnesota Rocker is preparing for the Black Ops 7 season with a renewed focus on building around Estreal. So obviously we know they had Estreal, they had Geo, they had Nero, and they had Kenny. They decided to go and simply build around Estreal, which is interesting. You know, all four of them had talent. So for Estreal, it probably feels really good knowing that they're building around him and stuff like that. So let's go across and carry on the article there. The organization has decided to young centerpiece has decided to make the young SMG its centerpiece as it works to turn its fortunes around. One of the primary targets is Kremp, formerly of C9 and Thieves, who is expected to slot in alongside Estreal to form a new look duo. While Rocker has explained coaching options, the franchise appears to give head coach Looney another chance. Okay, so interesting. So Looney is going to be once again steering the team there after a difficult stretch. As for the main AR roster, rumors suggest Minnesota is waiting interest in veteran world championship Slasher and Caesar Skies, both of whom could bring valuable experience. I am a little bit confused on Slasher and Skies together. I think this is honestly just a very slow AR duo, and I think individually I like them both. They're both, you know, been a part of the Call of Duty scene for a while, both respected in the scene, and fair play to both of them. You know, Skies was an Optic for the later stretch, obviously won a world champs at New York. Slasher's been around for over a decade, won one ring with Envy. I think is he a one or two? He's either way, he's a multi-time champion. I see the potential of like two experienced ARs with two talented subs, go from there. But in a game of Black Ops 7 and just generally in Call of Duty, but I think people sometimes think ahead too much. I know it sounds silly, but you think, okay, what we're going to do next year, right? But most of the time, you have to think for the next year you're playing. You really do, because most rosters don't last more than a year as it is. So you really have to look at Black Ops 7. If we look at Black Ops 6, which is basically a mirror of what we expect from Black Ops 7, the best teams, if we kind of, let's go to the rumored teams here. If you look at the best teams, so we're just going to add basically Slasher over there with Kremp, okay? Look at these teams, and I want you to look at the pacing duo of some of the ARs and compare them to what we're going to see right now, okay? Rencor, is it going to let me? It's not going to let me use my pen. Okay, no problem. Rencor and Super actually has a very good pacing to the ARs. Dashi and Mercules very, very fast. Dashi and Mercules, good AR duo in terms of pacing as well. And Boozer and Draza, again, very fast AR duo. Scrap and Kenny probably will work together to a point of speed. You look at this Koi roster, if they do bring back Insight, it'll be Insight and Kleenex. Again, look how fast Kleenex is. You need at least one rapid AR. And then one AR that's maybe a little bit slower, but works around it. You know what I'm saying? Even Mamba and Vivid, very fast AR duo together. So look at Gentlemates as well. Sib and Ghosty, very fast AR. So if you look at G2 now, the team that we're looking at, it honestly is one of the slowest AR combinations in the game. And what happens is your subs get kind of left out to dry now. I think Slasher with Kremp, in terms of a team itself, is quite a good search and destroy team, stuff like that. I think the problem with this team is just, it looks like a bottom 4 team. It really does. And the problem is it's got a lot of like talent on there, but it's not really molded properly. I think if you go for one of these two, either Slasher or Skies, let's just say you get Slasher, for example, and then you maybe get a rookie in, you get a rookie AR in, or even like, let's just say, I'm just going to use them as an example of Beans. You know, it looks like it, again, I'm not saying it's a top 4 team, but it looks maybe a little bit better in terms of you got a bit more natural pacing there, stuff like that. So I think you could have Skies or Slasher. And the perfect example of this, is what we saw with Optic. Optic had Skies. They had Skies come in. They had Dashi. They had Shotzi and Hook. And the problem, of course, there was other variables, right? So I'm not saying, I think Skies unfair. I think because of how good Mercury's did, Skies does get bad rep from last year, which I think is kind of tough. But if you look at this team on paper, right, Obviously, a great SMG duo, but I would say this SMG duo is going to be better than that SMG duo. I think everyone can say that's fair. Shotzi and Hook is going to be better than Estreal and Kremp just because of the experience they've had together and the championship they won. They're obviously veterans in the game, right? Where these two are young rookies trying to get there one day. Like, these two would love to have a career that they two had, basically, which is absolutely valid, and that's fair from both perspectives, right? But if you look at the side of Dashi and Skies now, we're basically getting a worse SMG duo, and then you're replacing Dashi with Slasher, right? But the point is, Dashi is naturally faster than Slasher anyways, and Skies and Dashi didn't work. There was too many ARs. You needed Skies to be the flex. Skies had to be the fast player. He had to be that Mercury's type style. And because he wasn't in that team, there's not really a world where he does it now for this team. And even if it does, it's not going to be a natural fit. His best role is being that individual AR player. Like, basically, him and Slasher are competing for the same role, essentially. That's the way I look at it. I think they're both really good players as well. I think they just both play the same role. I think they both play the slower main AR role that teams traditionally don't have as much anymore. And if teams have it, like you saw in Koi, you'll be one player that has it. And that player will need 3 players that have absolute pace around them. So like I said right here, you keep Slasher, you get an aggressive SMG player / flex player that has a lot of aggression on the map here. So I'm just trying to look at the list and I don't know, Illy. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You bring someone with pacing on the map. So it has to be Skies or Slasher, in my opinion. You can't have a Skies and Slasher. I just think that's a recipe for disaster. But I don't really know what's going on with the G2 team. I think Estreal and Kremp, I see the vision. I do see the vision. They're going with 2 talented players that have had another year in the league, some more experience, and kind of hoping it just works well together, man. And they're just trying to stack talent. And I mean, at this point, you kind of want that. You kind of need to look at that. I don't know where Gwyn is. Where's Gwyn in this equation? I think Gwyn's someone that I don't know where he's rumored to, but he definitely needs to be having a shout in some of these teams, man. I think Gwyn's next up. If I was a CDL org not in the top 4, I think I'm looking around Gwyn, man. I really am. Gwyn's one of those top talented players. I'm looking around him and seeing what we could do. So Gwyn's someone in this category as well that I would look at. You know, he obviously played with Slasher as well. Didn't go too well. So you got to look at things as well that, yeah, there's a lot of variables, but I do understand it's not the easiest scenario as well, with obviously all the top talent already being picked up. You do look at that like that, but I just don't think Skies and Skies and Slasher is the answer. But hey, we'll see some news tomorrow as it carries on. I'm trying to upload daily on this channel again, so we will be back. We will be making sure we upload more on this channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Peace.